And welcome, everybody, to another glorious episode of the Student Body Rights USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. POR, my Twitter handles. Check me out there. Also, check out some contributors to the show, some friends of the show. Coach B out there on Twitter, Blue DVL21. It's his always tricks me up a little bit. And then you got for Raider fans, you got the Sol Lopez on Twitter. And then you also have Brian Holmes, RHOLM22. Ryan always has some really good stuff for Raider fans. So make sure you go check him out. Chad Bowden really making his foot really kicking in the door. And really doing a lot of good things here really early with USC. USC has that number one ranking as far as the 26th class. We talked about the 26th class a whole lot because we know how big that class is in the state of California. And, it's really becoming a thing here where USC is just going in and talking to people, talking to players who were planning on going to Oregon and flipping them to USC and that's something that we haven't seen in a long time. Again, I got a friend who's a scout who used to do the Pacific, do the West Coast baseball scout, and he went to Oregon, he went to Washington State, and he is like, how does USC lose kids to some of these schools because of how those schools are in the middle of nowhere, things like that, whatever. Some people like schools like that, so I'm not going to kill them on that part, but at the end of the day, USC needs this moment to continue to shine, to get through the June period here. And I think his one thing about Chad Bowden is his ability just to retain. I mean, they did at Notre Dame. He did a great job of retaining people. I look for the same thing here. They might lose a couple guys here and there. They have 14 players in this class. 9 of them are from California, and that's what you want. I mean, the fence, build the wall, whatever you want to say it around California recruiting. The guys who are the big time players, the guys who are the best in California need to be playing for USC, and I think that's what Chad Bowden really is picturing as far as his involvement here with USC, his ability to bring in quality people at USC to help him build that vision, if you will. And I'm excited about it. I think the Trojan fans are really excited about it, and we really hope it continues. It's everything they needed to make Lincoln Riley's job easier is coming to fruition, and hopefully that continues. Because that's what just taking all that stuff off. Like now, people look at it as for Lincoln to, there's no excuses. I look at it as just like the burden of like the world, like I can just do my regular job. It's like, you ever been hired somewhere and they keep telling you that you're probably doing like 2 or 3 jobs at once, sometimes 3 jobs, and they keep telling you that they're going to hire somebody, and that person probably comes in the door and they're hired and they're going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing some other jobs to make your job easier so you can actually do what you're great at. And I think that's what Lincoln Riley has. I mean, let's think about it for a second. The good side of Lincoln Riley is like, he didn't have a team that was as good as Penn State, but he's on the verge of beating Penn State because he's at the Coliseum on the verge of beating Penn State if Miller Moss just hits Deuce Robinson in the chest. He's on the verge of beating Notre Dame. Like he's on the verge of, like, these teams are like not, they don't even have the skill. The Trojans done at that last year to go fast forward. Those are 2 teams who made the playoffs and had deep runs in the playoffs, made the Final Four, and he's competing with them without the help of like the Chad Bowdens and the new front office and things like that. Think about, like that's why I think I'm really excited about this season. I know people look at it as a no excuse season, whatever. I'm just looking at it as a season where he has an opportunity to just go coach. And that's what Chad Bowden brings to SC here. Like lighten the load and give him an opportunity to just go coach. Just go coach. He's actually, I mean, he got interviewed last week in a closed session with the media. Talked about how he's just going to be they're going to be going door to door out in Orange County, trying to get people to do it to give to House of Victory and give to NIL. I think if that they just had somebody just tweeted where a Will F just gave 25,000. I think that Will F could be Will Ferrell, maybe, maybe just maybe it could be Will Ferrell. Um, but so the money is coming in. They're going to be able to compete. People, it's hard to explain, like for folks who are not out here, but like it's the Dodgers are great. The Lakers get Luca, like I mean, we all know about all. But at the end of the day, this is, I mean, there's something about a college being really good, college football being really good at USC that just brings the community together. It's really more like it's like it's pretty much LA's team. Like you know what I mean? There is no like the trans. I don't know, but like it's something about that stadium and something about that thing that when USC is good, how it brings everybody together and it fills that stadium. Like that's what I'm excited about to see, and I think he's excited about to see. He took, I mean, like I said, he got from what the boards say at Notre Dame. They said that Notre Dame um matched his offer from SC, and he still came over. That says a lot. So but his just his ability to close. I think his ability to close deals is what I'm impressed. I'm impressed so far with him, and his staff is just his staff has been top notch. So I'm excited about for that to continue. So Joe DeRazio was brought over as well to help USC and his staff. So he is going to be the assistant um, running backs coach, and he's also going to be the guy who's in charge of strategy during games. So it's going to be a guy who helps Lincoln Riley make those critical decisions. Lincoln Riley is going to be, I mean, it's almost like a guy who's going to be kind of held in, maybe accountable as far as Chad Bowden goes. But like he worked for the Eagles, he worked for the Chiefs. So it's not like he's not like a guy who's never worked in a big time program before. And his job is going to be to in game, when to go for it, when to, like just give him the numbers on what to do. Um, if you saw Marcus Freeman last year, he had somebody right next to him who was, just kind of like letting him know, like, hey, this is what to do. This is the situation. This is what you should do, what you shouldn't do, whatever. And this is the numbers of which numbers kind of what numbers kind of go in the analytics of what is of this situation, what it should and should not be as far as going for it or not going for it, or punting here doesn't make sense. Don't punt here because it's 4th and 3 on the opponent's 38. Let's just go for it. All the things like that. So a little bit of checks and balances there, but it's also just like another. I mean, if he's not another bright mind to bring in to help Lincoln Riley do what he's supposed to do. There's another guy to come in and say, hey, listen, this is what the situation is. You make the final decision, but this is what the numbers say we should do. And I think that makes a whole lot of sense. As far as that goes. So, the class is getting bigger. They're getting some strength, getting some trench work in there as well. I know. I think people people going crazy off our strength and conditioning coach and trying to say like he should be replaced. Back in the day when they had Alex Grinch, I mean Alex Grinch is asking for a certain type of body, and now you're seeing the bigger, stronger bodies here as well. So every time I see Thanos, he looks bigger and bigger every single time. It's crazy how how awesome the body transformations you're seeing at USC. I think one thing about it is somebody asked a really interesting question in that closed media session with with Chad Bowden, and he said, if they bring a player to the program who the coaching staff thinks may not be the right fit, like how does it get decided? And he said with confrontation. I think that is something where, like, that's, like he is banking on that. Hey, listen, I'm gonna bring in the best. I'm gonna bring in guys who I've studied what you do. I've studied what this kid can do, and I feel like if I'm bringing him to you, he's going to be a guy who is going to fit what we do, and he's going to be an integral part of what SC is. So if there is a disagreement, they're gonna yell it out. And I think that's something where, like, I think if you work for Chad Bowden, I think that's something that where you got to say, hey, like, that's something where it's like, a good thing for you, because then you have your boss who's going to back you up, and for Lincoln, it's going to be like, hey, this is not a kid who I think can, his skill set doesn't fit my offense, or Dalen's going to say, well, I don't know if this kid can fit my defense, whatever. And I mean, people having disagreements, passionate disagreements with each other is not a big deal. It really isn't. I mean, it's basically how it used to be. Now people send like angry emails and stuff like that. So, um, I think it's a good job, by them to even have that, you know, um, to be able to have those conversations. You need to have passionate conversations about, where the team is going, where the program is going, and and then they'll hash it out, and then a decision will be made, and then the kid will either be on the team or not. But I think he clearly has a tremendous eye for what the team needs and what this program needs, and he's hired a lot of really quality young people to help him. And every time you see somebody who USC hires in a football program, it's good. And you look at their background; it's an impressive background. So I'm excited about it, and I think everybody else should be excited about it as well. Um, as USC kind of keeps bringing in just really good guys, and ladies to help build a program, as far as that goes. The draft is coming up here too as well, so we'll kind of look at where Jalen Smith's going to go. Monheim, people like that, to see where they were going to go. I think, his ability to play. People really like him as a slot corner, Jalen Smith. So we'll break him down a little bit and see what he can bring to an NFL roster. So also with Monheim, who's going to be a guy who is, in that interior, that offensive line interior, that can really help NFL teams. And where does Woody Marks fit? Woody Marks is a guy who we love after only one season at USC. But Woody Marks has an opportunity. But the thing about it, this draft it's a huge draft. It's a huge draft for running back. So where does Woody Marks fit as far as that goes? We'll talk about that next show as well. All right. Suited by Your Right, USC podcast. Fight on, folks. Fight on.